Where did the name come from? Ra. That I've always wanted to know that.
It's a very simple reason. So like I've said probably 6 times already, I was obsessed with the Police and I was obsessed with Sting. And Sting was my idol, and I just wanted to be like him no matter what I could do. So Sting wrote a bazillion songs about the moon. He had Walking on the Moon, Nothing Like the Sun was his album. He
Yes.
had the Moon Over Bourbon Street, all of these songs about the moon. So I was like, well, fuck it, I'm going to write songs about the sun. So I started writing all these songs about the sun, and then I was having dinner with this girl, and I was trying to think of a name and all this stuff, and in the middle of it, she was like, well, what about Ra? And I was like, you mean like the Egyptian sun god? And she was like, yeah. I was like, there's no way that that's not taken. And then I actually found out through an attorney. I looked it up and all this stuff, and it wasn't copyrighted as a band name. And so I copyrighted it as a band name. And in 1998, there was a movie that was a sequel to Carrie called Carrie 2: The Rage. Yep. And it was terrible. But my first commercial, like major commercial release, was the end title sequence song for that movie. So we had a song called Crazy Little Voices, and it was Bring Me the Rage was the subtitle of it, and it was the theme, the end title. So when the movie ended, that was the song that played. That, I do a lot of melodies and what's called top lining. So top lining in music is when you write the melodies and the lyrics. And so people will send me instrumentals, and I will take those instrumentals and just put down a whole bunch of options for melodies and sort of work with them remotely until that's done, and then help them when they record it with the lyrics and the whole thing. It's really, really low impact for me because I don't have to leave, and I can do all the stuff quickly. So I'm really into that part of doing stuff. And I've sort of carved out a niche as the vocal guy, which is what I've been doing for a lot of bands. So it's going well.
That is all. I've never heard of that top line. That is really cool because I know what you're talking about. You're talking about putting the decoration on the cake, which is the hook or the everything, right? The melody like that.
Yeah. So one of the cool things, and I'm going to speak a little less humble than I probably should, but I'm a really good singer. And one of the things that's a side effect of being a really good singer is you can articulate your ideas without them being sort of like compromised. So if I was a shitty singer with a great idea, I really would have a hard time teaching you what it is that I want you to hear. But
you'd
because
I'm all shitty, but you'd be like, it should be way up here or over here.
Yeah. Like, I've worked with guys that are like, well, what if we did this? And they're like, whoa. And you're just like, dude, I don't know what you're doing. But, for me, because I can sing things virtually the way, pretty exactly the way I want them to sound, it's sort of a gift in this line of work, because then I can sort of deliver it to them and they can do whatever they want with it. But it's one of those things where I deliver it sort of purely and it comes across. It allows me to do stuff in that way. And I'm really fast with melodies. I hear things. Dustin from Starset calls me the melody database police, because every time he comes up with a melody, I'm like, oh, that's just that song from Journey in 1976. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, this is this melody, But yeah, I mean, I memorize a lot of things musically, especially notes, and it just allows me to have like a big